Hello everyone and welcome to Instrumentation Hub. This video is specially for those who are in final year and are going to be appear in interviews, but they still not aware from where to start the interview preparation. But friends, no need to worry, I am here to help you with this. I will tell you from where you have to start for interview preparation and what is the important part that you have to study for interviews. So throw your tensions away and let's begin. But before that, if this is your first time on the channel, then don't forget to subscribe Instrumentation Hub and press the bell icon for such amazing videos. Okay, let's begin. Let's begin with the very first question: how to start interview preparation? As an instrumentation engineer, you have to study some major subjects. And what are those subjects? I will tell you. When you are starting your interview preparation, start with basic electronics. Even if you are an instrumentation engineer, but you should know some basic electronic concepts which interviewer asks frequently in interviews. If you are appearing for non-instrumentation company, so they will begin your interview from the basic electronic questions. So you have to study basic electronics at very first. Okay? In the further part of the video, I am going to tell you exactly which concepts you have to study. Okay? Now, let's move to the core instrumentation subjects. The first subject is sensor and transducer. If you are appearing for core instrumentation company, then they will ask you questions from sensor and transducers. The next subject is control system, then process control system and process instrumentation. These are the major subjects that you have to study before giving core company interview. In further part of the video, I am going to tell you what exactly you are expected to study. Let's begin. But before moving towards, I want to share one important thing with you, that before starting your subject study, prepare your resume. Friends, resume is one kind of your reflection. Your resume tells interviewer who you are, what is your interest, and what you have done in your academics. And then they will ask you questions accordingly. So preparing resume is really very important. I will tell you why. See, you mention your technical part like skills, projects, your internship, your experience in the resume. And if interviewer asks you the question from your resume, then you should be able to answer those questions, because you were the only one who mentioned those things in your resume. If you are mentioning projects, then you should be able to explain the projects from start to end, like what is the importance of that project, which technology that you used in that project, what components are used, how you implemented that project, and what was the outcome of that project. At least you should be able to explain these things. Okay? If you have added experience like internship in your resume, then you should be able to explain what you have done during the internship, which technology that you have learned and used in the internship, on which project you worked, and what was the outcome of the internship. Okay? If you are mentioning some skills, technical skills and certification in your resume, there is a possibility that interviewer can ask questions about that particular skills and certifications, and you should be able to answer those questions. Then only the interviewer will impress by you. Probably you will get a job. Understood? One thing you have to remember while drafting the resume. Add only those things that you are really aware about. Don't add anything which you will not be able to explain. So be precise while drafting your resume. Okay? So the preparing resume should be the first step of your interview preparation. So start preparing your resume today itself. Okay, so now let's move to the technical part, technical subjects. As I mentioned earlier, the very first subject should be the basic electronics. In that, there are some important topics that you should study. Interviewer will start interview by asking questions, ekdam fundamental questions. So you need to start from basic concepts. Let's see. In basic electronics, you should study passive components like resistor, capacitor, inductor, diode. Some active components, transistor, BJTs, FETs, MOSFETs. Study the definitions of these concepts and what is the use of these components in electronics or in applications. Next, you have to study amplifiers, voltage regulators, rectifiers, logic gates, mux, demux, op-amp, filters, flip-flops, analog to digital converters, digital to analog converters. These are the major concepts from basic electronics that you need to study. Mostly, interviewer asks questions from these concepts. So, you should know these concepts at least. Now let's see another subject, that is sensors and transducers. In that, you have to study sensors. You should be able to explain the definition of sensor, different types of sensors, and the working. You should study transducer, definition of transducer, different types of transducer, and how transducer works. Interviewer will ask you the different types of sensors based on the different physical parameters. Like, explain the pressure sensors. So what are the different types of pressure sensors? The Bourdon tube, bellows, diaphragm, strain gauge, piezoelectric, capacitive pressure sensor. You should study the working of all these sensors and how it used in application. Next parameter is a temperature sensor. In temperature sensor, there is a RTD, thermocouple, thermistor, pyrometer. Study the basic working of these sensors and one or two applications of these sensors. Next is a flow sensor. There are different types of flow sensors like venturimeter, orifice plate, rotameter, electromagnetic flow sensor, ultrasonic flow meter. Next is level sensor. Float type, capacitive type, ultrasonic type, radiation type, radar type. You should know the different types and how these are used in different applications and what is the difference between these types. In upcoming videos, we are going to see all the details about these all type of sensors. But for now, just understand what you have to study before appearing for interview. You can note down these things or you can take a screenshots for your references. Let's move to the control system. In that, you should know the definition of control system. You should be able to explain the block diagram of the control system, different types of control system and their working. You should be able to explain what is stability, what is accuracy, what is time response analysis, what is feedback. You should be able to differentiate the different types of control systems like open loop control system, closed loop control system, what is linear control system, what is non-linear control system, what is time variant control system, what is time invariant control system. Additionally, you should know what are the requirements of good control system, what is error detector, manipulated variable, controlled variable, what is final control element. You should study all these concepts. If you want to study these concepts, you will find the videos on control system subjects in my playlist. After watching this video, you will be able to explain all these concepts very precisely. If you want additional notes, let me know in the comment section. Now, next subject is process control system. In that, you have to study different control valves like globe valve, ball valve, butterfly valve, needle valve, gate valve. These are some major types of control valves. You should know the construction of these different types of valves, and you should be able to explain the working of these valves. In this subject, next part is the advanced control system. In that, there are different parts like cascade control system, ratio control, adaptive control, selective control, split range control. You should be able to explain these also. There is a possibility that interviewer can ask you question from these also. We are going to see these different types in detail in future videos, so don't worry. In process control system, there is some another things that you have to study like batch process, what is continuous process, what is distillation column, P and ID symbols, what is HVAC system. You might have heard these things, but in interviews you should be explain all these things, and I know you will be able to explain. Now, last subject is a process instrumentation. From this subject, you should study the different types of signals like electric signal, digital signal, pneumatic signal. You should be able to explain what is live zero concept. You have to study different types of communication protocols like foundation field bus, Modbus, hard communication, what are smart transmitters. Also, there is another major part, that is current to pressure converter, pressure to current converter, voltage to current converter, current to voltage converter. You should know this and you should be able to explain. Additionally, you have to know the alarms, what is alarm annunciator, what is DAS, what is data logger. If you are preparing for core instrumentation company, then process instrumentation is the major subject that you have to study. You don't have any option for this. From this subject, the another and the last important part that you should study is PLC, DCS and SCADA. In PLC, you should know the different programming languages and the rules of programming. Also, some different types of PLCs. In DCS, you should know the architecture of the DCS and what are the different components that are used to develop the DCS. Also, you should be able to explain what is SCADA, what is the use of SCADA, how it is different from DCS and PLC. Like interviewer can ask, tell me the difference between DCS and SCADA. Then you should be able to explain that also. You can explain this thing by giving the applications or examples too. In interviews, if you give the examples, you give the application based answer, then interviewer will know that you have the better understanding of the concepts. I know that before watching this video you was so much confused from where to start and what to study, but I think at the end of this video you will be able to at least start your interview preparation from somewhere, and I told you from where to start. I hope this will help you. Okay, let's summarize that what we have seen. Before starting subject-wise study, start preparing your resume, and after that move to the subject study. After preparing resume, move to the technical subjects and start with basic electronics, then sensor and transducer, control system, process control system, and process instrumentation. If you study all the concepts that I have mentioned in the video, then your interview preparation will complete almost 80%. So start your preparation today only. Apart from this, there are so many other concepts also, like interviewer can ask you in the interview. But these are the fundamental things, these are the basic things that you should know. That's why I have mentioned these things in my video. If you have any kind of doubt, please let me know in the comment section. Okay, so that was all from my side. See you all in the next video. Till then, tata, bye bye, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.